Ondo Finance is getting serious about integration with Wall Street. They have hired John Hoffman, who used to be the head of ETFs of Invesco, one of the largest ETF issuers. John Hoffman also used to be MD at Grayscale. Ondo is taking a different route to many other crypto protocols. They are bringing the serious features on-chain. For example, voting capabilities or 24/7 minting and redemption of tokenized stocks. And so that begs the question, is this potentially a buying opportunity? When all of crypto is going down, we want to buy the assets that are undervalued but still have strong development. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago, and that is mainly through active trading of altcoins. My track record is on the website down below. While most people lost money in the last 2 years, that's when I started to publish my trades in real time, we are currently at an all-time high with our open positions. Now that's 47% per annum. I'm not doubling and tripling the capital every month. This is a serious channel. We focus on compounding our capital over time instead of looking for the next multiple X moonshot. Now, my trading history is completely public on the website below. All of those trades are the ones that are already closed. The current open positions, they are of course available for the premium members. Now, Ondo Finance has launched multiple projects. It's got its own stablecoin, it tokenizes stocks, but it also has launched Ondo Perps. So that's a direct competitor to Hyperliquid. So that's bets on assets. We are not trading the underlying asset. We are just trading derivatives on the assets. Now, in general, the ecosystem is growing, right? This is the total value locked, the capital that's currently in Ondo Finance. Interestingly enough, though, all of that capital does not generate that many fees. Only around $200,000 to $300,000 a day. But check out the Perpetual futures volume of Ondo Perps, which by the way is still in beta. But let's say on average, there's around 75 million of trading volume with the typical Perpetual futures trading fee, which is 0.05%, that already generates $400,000 of revenue per day. So all that work around stablecoins and around tokenizing assets on chain, it's not as profitable compared to just offering gambling, compared to just offering those levered bets, those perpetual futures on prices. It will be very interesting to see where Ondo Finance will set the focus going forward. Will it be big institutions and larger investors that are interested in voting rights, or will it be levered bets on prices that actually makes the money? Now on X, Ondo Finance is still very much focused on the general traditional finance market, not just on levered bets. By the way, if you are using x.com, formerly known as Twitter, then feel free to also check out the account of this channel. I publish data regularly over here. Make sure though that you follow the right account. So that's at BitcoinStrat. Make sure that you don't follow a fake account. At BitcoinStrat is the only real account on X. Now, there are two ways to look at the price chart. The optimistic way is that maybe there is a long-term equilibrium, this dotted line. That's the average price of Ondo, roughly 75 cents. And that maybe from the current price, there is upside potential of roughly 140%. That's a straightforward, optimistic view. The realistic view, however, is that Ondo Finance tended to underperform the rest of the altcoin market. This is now the Ondo price divided by the others market cap. The others market cap is the market cap of all the altcoins that are not in the top 10. Ondo Finance is among them, but Ondo Finance tend to underperform in that category. Of course, with quite a bit of volatility, but we are at the upper end of a declining trend. That's not pretty. Where does this underperformance come from? And the capital that's in Ondo Finance tends to grow. The answer is token inflation. Every year we've got a major token unlock. And those kind of vesting unlocks, they get sold over time. In numbers, that means an increase in circulating supply of 35% 1 year from now. And because of that, Ondo Finance tends to trade just like any other cryptocurrency, according to attention. How much attention is there on Ondo? How many people talk about Ondo? That's very much correlated with the price development. So have a look at the social engagement. That's the orange bar chart. And have a look at how this correlates with the line. That's the price. When there's more people talking about Ondo, the price is high. When there's less people talking about Ondo, the price is low. Still, there are more than 200,000 holders of Ondo Finance on the Ethereum chain. And the number of such holders tends to grow over time. This is now the number of wallets that have at least $1,000 worth of Ondo. So there's clearly a growing investor base. The problem is that that investor base grew from roughly 20,000 to 24,000 holders in the span of a year. So roughly 20%. And that's not as fast as the supply expands. And that's always what crypto is all about. What's the marginal buyer? What's the marginal seller? If the growth rate of demand is higher than the growth rate of supply, we tend to have an outperformer. But most of the time, the supply grows faster than the demand. And why does the supply grow? It's because the early investors, the team, etc., they also want to cash out. And that's unfortunately what we see with Ondo as well. Now, there are levered bets on Ondo as well. They tend to have a relatively neutral funding rate. So there's the same amount of people betting on rising prices compared to people that bet on falling prices. But have a look at how the open interest develops. So that's the amount of bets on the Ondo price. When this is very high, many people speculate on the perpetual futures, on Ondo Finance. When this is very low, less people speculate on the asset. So that's a measure of how much leverage there currently is in the asset. And have a look at this. This very much correlates with the price as well. When open interest crashes, the price tends to bleed. When open interest goes up, the price tends to go up. Now, I like to determine trading rules. I like to figure out how can we best trade an asset. And this here is now Ondo Finance relative to Bitcoin. We try to figure out when should we go long and when should we go short. And this over here, that's a summary. What we're seeing here is 40,000 combinations of slow moving averages and fast moving averages. They determine what the best golden and death crosses are. Where we've got green, we've got the best performance. And historically for Ondo Finance, that was the 15 and 17-day simple moving average. So that's then how that looks like on a live chart. Whenever we see the shorter moving average going above the longer moving average, we've got a bull signal. Whenever the shorter moving average goes below the longer moving average, we've got a bearish signal, a death cross. And that strategy tended to work very well, very consistently for Ondo. As in, we've got just the Ondo price with the moving averages at the top. We've got the portfolio measured in US dollars in blue. And at the bottom, we've got the portfolio measured in Ondo tokens. The outperformance is quite massive. As in, buying and holding Ondo would have given us pretty much no performance. But trading according to that moving average would have given us 150% per annum almost. And so according to that backtest, we should now rather be cautious, right? We have negative momentum. We might want to wait until we buy the dip. I like those kind of backtests. This is how I trade in general. This is why we can outperform long term. So for example, over here, Luna Classic, we shorted that on a death cross. So we just looked at the best moving averages for Luna Classic. At the time, we had quite a bit of a rally. Then we got the death cross, it was the 6-day and the 10-day SMA. And then subsequently, we closed that position once we got the golden cross afterwards. And I like to follow that kind of approach for many altcoin trades. And that's where the long-term outperformance is coming from. If you don't have time to manually copy trade, there's also an automatic copy trading vault that's currently at 20% annualized. Last year, we got 44%. I work hard on getting us to 44% this year as well. If you just want to try it out for free, there's also a link down below for the free premium trade. So one of the trades that are currently open, that I have open, that the premium members have open, that's now available for you to copy trade for free as well. It's not just a trade, it's not just a setup, there's also a tutorial video, a premium tutorial video attached with that, explaining how to set this all up, how to do proper risk management, etc. The link is down below for the free premium trade. So yeah, despite the good news around Ondo, despite the top talent that's hired, I don't like the high token inflation, the token inflation that outpaces the adoption by the investors. That's why Ondo tends to underperform the rest of the altcoin market. And unfortunately, we are at the upper end of that trading range. And I'm not so sure if the risk is really worth the potential reward. In a year or two, the relative token inflation won't be as bad anymore. And if by that time we still see the project growing, I think it will be a better time to enter. Especially because by that time, the overall crypto sentiment might have already turned around already. Right now, we are clearly still in a bear market. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Cheers.